live stream. And this is Kim Crawley. I'm a big fan of her. And I said that she wrote this book and it's amazing. And she even signed it for me here. I'm disappearing a bit on vision, but I'm a super big fan. And that book also like inspired me to write an article for the Hack magazine, and Kim gave her blessing for the article, which was like amazing to me, and so I'm super grateful and wanted to give the voice to her to also like say more about herself because I'm a bit panicky now, so I would not never say it so well as she could say things about herself, and like also next question would be what inspired you to write that book? Yeah, okay, let's go.
All right. So a lot of the things that I've written have been other people's idea, but Hacker Culture A to Z was my idea. And I pitched it to O'Reilly, and there were people at O'Reilly who really believed in my concept, and that was really great. I acknowledge how computers have completely changed our world and have changed our culture. And the culture of computing is hacker culture. And there are a lot of misconceptions about it. I like the idea of presenting a lot of ideas into like a lot of short snippets. And the great thing about Hacker Culture A to Z is you don't have to read it from front to back. You can read it in whatever order you like. And each section is anywhere from about a page long to about 4 pages long. Most of them are about 1 or 2 pages long. So if you don't have a lot of time or you have a short attention span, it's a really accessible read that makes all this esoteric tech stuff accessible. And I think another thing that I really loved about writing Hacker Culture A to Z is the history of computing really fascinates me. And I did a lot of research about yeah, and we've had some great illustrators work on this book as well. So it's been a really great honor. Yes, every single
Yeah,
illustration inside of that book is an
I
original
was in love with the
illustration.
graphics and like the whole book, like even like the cover with like the anime eyes here, give me like the sweet embrace of like knowledge and like reading a book, like holding it in my hands and like smelling the
Oh,
paper and like this the contents is like amazing. It's like what I love and like who I am if I read like every page. And like the oh my god, it's like I can and for hours I can talk about this book. I was so amazed and like ecstatic about how amazing this book was. Like yeah.
I did not create any of the illustrations, but the team, the art team at O'Reilly were really inspired by me, and they wanted my personality and my ideas to come out in the illustrations. So kudos to everyone who worked on the art for Agriculture A to Z. It's really great, and I'm glad that you like it. Compared to the other publishers that specialize in publishing books about computer technology, O'Reilly has really been known for its visual style. Like one of the things that O'Reilly is most famous for is for the animal books, right? So there's a whole series of books that have been coming out for the past 30 plus years, and a lot of them are about a particular programming language or a particular set of technologies, and there'd be a different animal illustration on the cover, and that's what they're most famous for, really. So that my book is not an animal book, but it shows that O'Reilly's always had really great visual style, definitely. That's definitely a part of their brand.
Yeah. So I wanted to follow this conversation with next question. Wanted to ask you if you would be open to join me on my next stream and like have like a longer conversation on who you are as a person, of your books, because you have written many, not only this one, and like yeah, what inspires you, and yeah. I think you're amazing, so that would be great.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I would be happy to help your Twitch channel get off because I think you have a lot to offer the Twitch space. There are some cybersecurity people on Twitch already, but I think you have your own unique style so that your Twitch channel can stand out.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what next. Do you have anything else to add here?
Yeah, the one major landmark in my career since Agriculture A to Z was published is out of the blue, I got offered a job as a college professor at the Open Institute of Technology.
Oh,
And so I've been doing a lot of writing projects on the side, behind the scenes mainly, but last year, my career was all about that book, Agriculture A to Z. This year, my career is about my very first professional teaching gig. So this is my very first time being a college professor, and the Open Institute of Technology it's a new institution, and it's a very 21st century sort of academic institution because there's no physical campus to go to. It's completely online. The school has some really talented people in its faculty, and every member of OPIT's faculty. OPIT is what we call the Open Institute of Technology. Every member of OPIT's faculty has a ton of experience in the tech industry, and I'm a junior professor because that's not my official title. I'm just a professor, but I am a junior professor, right? Because I'm new, I'm green. So I have been really well supported, and the course that I'm going to be teaching starting in September, it's called Cybersecurity Fundamentals and Governance, and it's a part of their master's degree program. So OPIT is fully accredited, and they offer bachelor's degrees and they offer master's degrees.
oh,
So I am not teaching my course alone. There's another teacher who's also teaching my course. His name is Tom Vasdar, and he has more experience being a professor than I do. And so he has been really great as a mentor to me, helping me out. And so in our course, some of the lessons were lessons that I've designed, and some of the lessons are lessons that he designed. And we've been collaborating really well together. And I know people think of me as a smart person because of the work that I do and the books that I've written and the research that I've done. But honestly, I never saw myself becoming an academic, becoming a college professor. I didn't apply for the job, like they offered me that job. So I never saw it coming. I don't talk about this very often, but I'm a high school dropout. I had a really, really tough time in school when I was a kid. I had ADHD and autism that wasn't diagnosed. I didn't get any support for it. And that's largely why I dropped out of school. So I'm 40 now. And to think, if you had asked me when I was 20 or 25 that this was what my life would be like now when I'm 40, I wouldn't have believed you. So I hope that my personal life story can encourage people that even if you struggle early on in life, life goes on, and sometimes I've had a lot of help in my life, and I've had a lot of help in my career, and I've had a lot of good luck, quite frankly. I've worked really hard as well. And yeah, if my life story encourages people to not give up, then that's really good. Um, as a college professor, one of the things that I'm really focused on is I want to treat my adult students a lot better than I was treated when I was a child.
that's amazing.
So that's my goal. Yeah. I'm amongst the people who believe that laziness does not exist, right? we're human beings and sometimes we need rest. But if someone struggles with something, it isn't because they're not trying hard enough. And I was called lazy too. I was everyone whose brains are a little bit different. I think we get called lazy in school, and it's so harmful. You basically you kill the motivation from your kids. Uh,
And is
yeah,
it like really lazy or overwhelmed? So no one really measures
bad
that, yeah? No one really asks, oh, are you okay? No. Uh,
bad teachers, they
Yeah,
do so much harm. And so that's why I'm going to be really focused on encouraging people
yeah.
and not discouraging people. No one is lazy. No
Yeah,
one
I
is.
think so.
If you explain something to someone and they don't understand it, you try explaining to them in a different way. If some people learn in different ways than others, some people take longer to learn certain things than other people do. And when you get really frustrated with something, people should have the opportunity to take a break.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes I have written some really technically complicated things, and sometimes my work has frustrated me. And I am so fortunate that as an adult, if I am working on a white paper or documentation and it's frustrating me, that as an adult I can say to myself, okay, Kim, take the rest of the day off. You're not making any progress here. Go watch YouTube or have a nap and just relax. And sometimes you'll wake up the next day and I understand it now because you gave yourself a rest and maybe your subconscious was working on it while you were resting.
Uh, uh,
But kids don't get a lot of those opportunities, right? Like adults try to control how they learn, and they're given so little freedom and leeway, and it really hurts them. I Kids should be given the freedom to take breaks and to learn at their own pace, and unfortunately I don't think that's what happens.
okay, so I see a question in the chat. Uh, would compliance and governance be a good foot in the door for cyber department and for SCADA?
Absolutely, and you said SCADA, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's like operational technology and industrial. I think that's a great way to get your foot in the door in cybersecurity. I Dorota is a pen tester, and I wrote a book about pen testing, and I think pen testing and offensive security as a whole is really important. But I think more than half of all people who try to enter cybersecurity try to get into pen testing when we need some people to be pen testers and we need some people to be SOC analysts and we need some people to work on documentation and policy and compliance. And I think the various like defensive disciplines like DFIR, digital forensics incident response, compliance really gets overlooked. I know that when the GDPR was signed into law in 2018, that caused a rush for companies, not just in Europe, but also outside of Europe, to spend money on GDPR compliance because they were really concerned about what fines they could get if they are found to be non-compliant. But most of the time, compliance gets ignored. So I mean, and compliance is not simple. There are so many different laws and regulations and standards, not just the GDPR. Uh, I can name like hundreds of different regulations and policies and whatnot. And most organizations, there are at least like two or three or more regulations that they have to abide by. So compliance is hard work, and I think it's underappreciated work. And I think if you can really succeed at compliance, are you in governance risk and compliance, GRC?
Yeah, it's unclear.
I have a friend who specializes in GRC, and it's really important work, and I think it gets overlooked by way too many organizations. So you can greatly improve a company's security posture. Most importantly, if you do your job properly, you can protect a company from receiving really terrible fines. And then, of course, you probably know that the penalties aren't always fines. Sometimes, like for instance, for all companies that take credit cards and debit cards as payment have to be compliant with the PCI DSS,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm preaching to the crowd because you already know all this, but for anyone else who might be listening, if you are non-compliant with the PCI DSS, that might not only be a fine, but you lose your privileges to take Visa, MasterCard, Amex, debit payments. And for a retail business, that could totally kill your retail business, not being able to take those methods of payment, especially if you're online and cash isn't an option. So there are so many consequences, negative consequences to noncompliance that I can really appreciate the work that compliance specialists do.
Like I used I used to work for the government in office, so I used to sit like with a tiny pencil and like check the European Union projects that came to the contests. So I kind of know how that looks like to be very diligent and like sit there and take care of the paperwork and like make it a good quality. And but I think like now people don't really think that this is a sexy field maybe because everyone wants to be a hacker, everyone wants to be like Mr. Robot, and so the pen tester is like really a lot of people want to be one, but this is like a bit overlooked. But it's really good that he asked the question and you answered in such a beautiful way. And so thank you for that, and thank you for joining me on my stream. I really appreciate that a lot. And yeah, high five.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, if this is the end of the stream, I would be happy to come back anytime. Just give me a day or two notice, and yeah, I would be happy to answer anyone's questions here. This is great. You are a great host. I really appreciate it.
So this is like a cue for like people that are watching to prepare like all of your difficult questions, or maybe not too difficult. I know we don't want to stress out the guest, but for the next one, I think it will be next Friday. So fingers crossed, we will see and hear everyone like
Oh,
from the start.
Friday. I'm doing things on Friday.
Okay, so let's talk about this later. But I'm very flexible, so it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
Friday. But yeah, I will. You're the guest, so I will adjust my schedule to you because this is important to me as well.
I am really honored, and I'm so honored to be here, and I really appreciate this so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Dorota.
thank
And
you,
thank you everyone who happens to be watching. It's great.
there is like a lot of thank yous in the chat as well. So I don't know. I don't know. Let's do like I'm trying to do a heart. This is supposed to be a heart, but thank you. And
Yeah, I think I can do the heart. I can
yeah,
do the
oh yeah,
heart.
yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. That's like yeah. I'm a bit stressed, so my motor skills may be lacking at the moment, but thank you for covering the hard part. Yeah,
Thank you very much, everyone.
by PowerPoint, I guess. Okay. Uh, Here we go. Uh, so who I am? Just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Dorota. Uh, I'm a Polish citizen, so I was born in Poland, and uh, probably that's good that I'm not speaking in my native tongue because I don't know if anyone of you speak Polish, but that would be interesting, I guess. Uh, I think I'm an amazing person. That might be a bit too cocky to say that, but I think I'm a nice person. So uh, and I can see people in the chat already knew some Polish words like chomik, so this is funny. So, uh, let's move along. So I'm a penetration tester as well, and I will say more about why did I decide occupation. And I was a community manager for a company that was a bug bounty, owns a bug bounty. I was managing the hacker community for them, but turns out uh, there were some problems. So now I'm here. So this is fine. So this is actually good because if I would be still working there, I would never be here with you guys on Twitch. And I was trying to go on Twitch and like thinking about this intensively for the last 2 years. So it was kind of like a push for me to go on my own. And a few years ago, when I started on LinkedIn, I've noticed everyone looks the same. I thought that being like everyone else and like not standing out is not necessarily a good career choice, and that's why the red cape appeared. I wanted to be a penetration tester for some years already, and there was like this movie of Wonder Woman in the cinemas, and that was like really amazing because it was the first time she was like there was like a superhero that was a female and had her own movie. That really amazing to me, and so that started to like connect into like a bigger picture like of who I am. And in the meantime, when I was still in the treatments, I started learning pen testing and got my first job. So after all that happened to me and I got like told by the doctor that I'm healthy, I thought, wow, it's like yeah, amazing things happened and like this is like pretty big things happened here like in this year. So like okay, so maybe I am a Wonder Woman. Okay, so maybe I'm like her because I wanted to be like her, like a strong female. Uh, that gets the job done, you know. But actually, I just realized like, okay, maybe I am her. So this is how I started to appear on LinkedIn as well, to just stand out and like be kind of in like the persona of who I feel I am as a person. On also like on the outside and like on in the like professional setting. Uh, it's like a pretty, I think it's like a pretty brave thing to do on LinkedIn because like you have to be professional and you know the white shirt and like okay, but I do believe like even like if you have tattoos and like piercing or like colorful hair, you're still a professional and it doesn't really matter how you look like. It just what is important like what what can you bring to the table? What value do you bring to the employee? So I thought like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. So this is who I am called on LinkedIn, the Wonder Woman of Cyber. That's why I mention it here. And the One Woman Army is who I was in the Basic Fit, the company that I work in the Netherlands, because I was the only tester there. So I had to test everything. That's why I sometimes make a joke that I was like a head tester. So because I was the only one, but yeah, I was the one woman army because uh, I had like a task on Jira with testing, I don't know, performance or writing tests with a post, postman or whatever they needed me to do. So I had to do it, and I was learning on the fly. And then at the end of the sprint, it was ready. So yeah, I really like that job because I was given a lot of freedom and like the opportunity to learn and like discover who I am, like what can I do, what I am capable of, and not like in my previous job when I worked for a corporation and I was like in like this tiny box. Okay, you will only test web penetration, like you web applications and nothing else. Like you are in this like this tiny box. You should not look outside of the box. Just stay in the box, and this is fine. You belong in the box. So yeah, I don't belong in the box. I am bigger than that. So That's why I'm also like a keynote speaker. I was invited to forum in cyber in Montreal when I gave my first keynote last year. So I did write that on LinkedIn that I'm a keynote speaker, but to be honest, I'm not super proud about of this particular keynote because I was super stressed and it went too fast. So not super proud, wouldn't give myself 10 out of 10, but like a solid maybe 6 because it was my first time and it was like super difficult topic. I was talking about ransomware in healthcare. So a pretty tough topic for not native English speaker. First time on stage, so I give myself some grace. Okay, that was okay, Dorota. And also, last year was like pretty amazing because I was selected by the top cyber news magazine as one of the 40 under 40, and it was like a perfect moment because 2 months later I had my birthday, so I would not be selected this year probably. And then at the end of the year, I went to Paris and received an award as a cyber woman of hope because of the content I share on LinkedIn and like I wrote also a few articles for the top cyber news magazine about giving back to the community. That's what I'm trying to do, helping women to being a kind of like a role model for women to so they can like think, okay, she did it, so I can too. Because when I was teenager and I was told, and I wanted to go to computer science studies, I was told that you are a woman, a female, and you will not fit there. So just forget about it. So I just wanted to be an example in the world, so other females like that are teenagers right now, for example, could believe in themselves more and see like there is like an example of other women being here in this space, so they will not listen to family friends or like the society what they tell them, but like believe in themselves and just go for it, do what they want to do with their lives. And like at the end here as like I share learning and motivational content, yeah, that is on LinkedIn, but I also created this channel because I wanted, because if I'm sharing the knowledge that I'm learning and I'm able to explain it in the way that a grandmother of someone could understand, someone that is very fresh in the field and doesn't have all of the vocabulary, so he can I don't know join me on my path, inspired and like I don't know see the sources that he could. How do I enter the cybersecurity industry? That's a question like probably a lot of people ask themselves. And I'm also asked this question a lot on LinkedIn, but unfortunately, I don't think there is a shortcut here. And what I wanted to say here mostly is you have to study. I'm sorry, you have to sit and study. And so what I did when I first is I started Googling and then I found out about penetration testing. How do you become a penetration tester? So by doing penetration tests, right? And so how do I get the first job as a penetration tester? So then you go, for example, LinkedIn or some kind of a job portal, or you Google that, and you get job opportunities that come up, and then you what is like what I did. I started reading the job requirements, like what they want me to know for the position, what certifications are in at this moment, what they are looking for. Sometimes it's like really not true what is written in the job description because the recruitment agent doesn't really know a lot about penetration testing and maybe he's copy pasting it from like different position, or there are like very strange requirements like having the CSSP certification with 2 years of experience. And I don't know if you guys know this, but to get this certification, you have to have 5 years of experience. To get actually the paper certification in your hand, you have to have 5 years of experience. And someone like few people endorsing you as a professional to the certification entity. So actually, and because I was reading that certification a lot in the job descriptions, so I thought, okay, this is like a good start of my journey. So I first I did the CSSP course, and then at the end of the course, I learned what is the CAA triad. So that was good. Now I know that. But at the end of the course, I thought, okay, maybe I can get certified. And then I read, okay, 5 years, and that's probably like management level certification. So probably not a good way to start. But that's what I did. Maybe do it a bit later, not as I did. But a good idea, in my opinion, would be to start with CompTIA courses, because that's what I did next. First, I started with CompTIA A+, and learned everything what is there to know about computers, like what is inside, like what is the uh, yeah, how the computer is built, how it works. Yeah, and then I did the Network Plus, so how the cable is built, like how the network works, all of the parts and like whatnot. Yeah, there was like a pretty eye-opening as well. So I had, because I did only 1 year of computer science stuff, that's why I wanted to learn more. And then what I did next was uh, computer security. I got certified. So those 4 courses that I just mentioned, I was completing during my chemo. So not to be, I don't know, a bit on the nose there, but uh, I always wanted to say that. What is your excuse? So yeah, I just that is what I wanted to say. That just want to you have to figure out who you are as a person, what lights you up, what brings you joy, what do you love, and then if you will do that job, then you will not feel like you're working at all. So yeah, find what is your holy grail. What is that job for you? How do I prepare for a job interview? Sometimes they give you like a tiny hint if you have like a good eye for detail. They give you a good hint on what you can expect on the job interview when they talk with you, and what, because they kind of like mention what is your job about, like the requirements. So if they look for a tester that will only test web applications, then probably they will ask you over top 10. But if they are looking for someone to test the business part of things, so maybe you should be knowledgeable about the business uh, based vulnerabilities. So just like a hint to read it really well, and like find out what is the company, go through their page. So it's like basics, but I thought it's worth mentioning. And growth mindset. I think that's super important in this industry, because penetration testing and like cybersecurity as a whole, I think this is like ever evolving field where something changes every day, and you have to learn, and you have to like to learn. But because if you just I've seen some people doing that. Actually, I'm not sure if that's super great approach, but you just enter the field, and then you sit like this, and oh, I'm amazing. Okay, and then you don't learn anymore. So uh, when you just get straight away, you shouldn't come there with like a god complex. Just maybe have some humility, but also like the growth mindset that you maybe don't know every vulnerability. So just go with the growth mindset and like the humility. uh, Ego is very big in this industry as well. So uh, just, I don't know, I guess be yourself, but not be like yourself in an unkind way. Yeah, yeah, okay. The next thing that I have on this slide is I do that a lot. So when I go on a job interview, I ask them a lot of questions, because what is super important for me uh, is the environment of the company. Like, what is the team look like? Is the manager a nice person? Is he a person that could share his knowledge and like be a mentor in a way, or just like a person that looks above your shoulder and like sees all the mistakes that you just made? he gives you criticism, but like not in a constructive way. So that's really already stressful when you are in like a technical field. And then on top of that, there's like the manager that is not super helpful. So that's super important on the interview to trying to get like a feel of what this company is about, what can I expect if they hire me. So if you have like a hint of this is not a good fit for me on the job interview, you shouldn't probably take the job, because just be kind to yourself and like honor yourself, and that will not end well. And trust me, your mental health is more important than any job that you can find there. So, and the therapy is very expensive. So, choose wisely. I do on the interviews that I ask a lot of questions that will give me knowledge, but also understanding what is the technical stack, what kind of projects can I expect. Is it like with the companies that I work for, that you get the knowledge opportunities, like the, I don't know, for example, subscription to Hack the Box, but you have no time to study. Also, they ask you, for example, can you tell me more about yourself? So this is actually the question, can you tell me something about yourself, is a perfect question to say a lot about the things that you think they would not ask, but they're like amazing about you, and like you stand out in those fields. And I think this is great that you did that, and like this is something that you makes you special. So you can say those things that make you special after that question. I think it's a perfect question, and they ask you, so you just told them, right? I'm amazing, so okay, hire me, and all is good in the world, right? And what I also wanted to say, take a lot of notes during the interview, because, like, for example, in the technical one, I don't always know the answer to the question, but then if I write that down, I can find out as soon as the call is finished, and I Google that, and there I know. I think it's a good idea to just go on the job interview, relax, and have a conversation. That's what I wanted to say. And also, like at the bottom of the screen, you just can Google most asked questions, and then you have some idea of what you can expect. And what is penetration test? A technical job when you test the security of systems or networks, and you try to exploit them. Exploiting is not always accepted by the client because they don't want you to destroy their stuff. So if the rules of engagement say you cannot exploit, you probably shouldn't do deny of service attacks. So just like a heads up, I guess. And so you test to identify the security vulnerabilities. And so how I would say that in my own words, you just go and there like see what the client has uh, on their site to see where are the flaws, the vulnerabilities, the holes. So penetration tester needs to be familiar with different hacking techniques and have in-depth network security knowledge. And they must also know how to use various tools to assess the target system security posture. So one of the most important parts, maybe let's go here, is reporting, because I think it's very important to mention, like even from the start, that you will become a penetration tester, and so you will spend a lot of time editing documents and like moving pictures around and working with reporting tools. I think it's important to mention because everyone thinks that penetration testing is so cool, and you're just like go there like in your black hoodie and you hack everything and you're like Mr. Robot. That is like all there is to it. But I think the most important part is reporting. That's why I wanted to say it first. And but then like there are like five phases to penetration testing. There's like reconnaissance, and what I've noticed, the reconnaissance part takes the most time, because you have to find out what, like even if you are testing, for example, a web page, you have to click through the page and like see how it works, like what is the functionality, what are the parts, or is there like a login page, or is there like when you can change the password, or is there like a admin panel or that you could potentially get into, or is there like some forums that you can try to send something in. So see what is the thing that you're testing built off, and like try to find out the most about the web page or like the thing that you're testing. So before you run, you have to know how to work. So you have to do some research to know where to run actually and how to do it. So and if there are like any vulnerabilities you will find, yeah. So you have to know where they are located. So that's why reconnaissance is the first one, and then like the scanning, do the nmap scans, so like whatever scans you do there, like Nikto or Combuster, and you assess what kind of vulnerabilities are there, because in the scanning you may get a lot of false positives, so you have to assess any of them worth reporting, or maybe all of them are false positives, so then you have to do some other testing there. So and then another phase is exploitation, so you can attempt to access the system, like exploit the vulnerabilities. Every tool or everything IT has to offer, there's documentation on it. There's probably documentation, and probably it's pretty good. So that's a good way, the good place to start actually your chase, to just go through, like sit there and like read the documentation, and that will save you like a day of watching YouTube videos or like you googling things, because you just read like the source and you know everything what there is, what the creators designed this thing to do, and what is the documentation for penetration testing, of us testing guides, and you have like web, mobile, firmware, like there's like a lot of others like API as well. And there's also like the PTES technical guidelines, like penetration testing execution standard. To get to the point, my dream when I was a teenager was to become a hacker or a programmer, because those two felt like pretty cool, you know. I felt like really inspired with like the movies I watched before, and you can also read about this in the article that I wrote, because I mentioned all of the things that created the person that I am today. So there's like the movies, like the I don't know, the hackers, or like war games, the Matrix, even like the TV show. And Mr. Robot has something to do with who I am today, because it was kind of like a push of a reminder of like, okay, you had this dream when you were a teenager, and this how it could look like, but it's just like a TV show. Be realistic, but it's pretty cool, the Rota, right? Yeah, it's worth fighting for, I think. Okay, I have to go back a bit. So I wanted to study computer science, but then I didn't believe in myself, and I had like those voices from the society, or like, my friends, my family told me, "Oh, you're a female, you don't belong there. Just forget about it." And then I went to study economics, and then when I was doing that, I'm a very like my core character trait is I'm a learner. So at the same time, I did another degree. So I have economics and marketing management. And then I went to work in Podlaskie Voivodeship Marshal's office when I was like a project management specialist, assessing the projects on paper, like with this tiny pencil. Pretty quick, like after, or maybe not so quick, but after 6 years working, well, I'm not having fun. Is this my life now? So then I asked them, would you be so nice to grant me 1 year of unpaid vacation? And so I went abroad, and I went for one half of the year. I went to UK, and then the second half of the year I spent in Amsterdam. There was the bikes, and Amsterdam was amazing. So I felt like, okay, this is where I belong. I want to stay here forever, and yeah, but forever didn't happen for me, because the vacation ended, and I had to go back to the job that I had, but then I had some pretty good thinking about who I am as a person, like what I want to do in life. Get back to Amsterdam, for example, and and then I started thinking, how can I get back to Amsterdam? What jobs could I do there? And there was some like crazy coincidence happening to me that a book on software testing came into my hands, and I already was troubleshooting like, oh, maybe backend developer, maybe front end, maybe UX designer, and none of those sparked joy for me. But when I got the software tester book, and at the end of the book there was this chapter of penetration testing, I felt like, this is sexy, I really like that. So, and I figured like I already was doing that in like the government job, so I was assessing is the project that the beneficiary gave us in compliance with the paperwork, with the rules. So we have to check with the rules. So it was kind of like testing, but on paper. So it felt like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I'm good at this. And like also like me as a child, I'm very talented. Uh, I don't know. I think it could be my curse as well as a talent. So when I touch something technical or like, I don't know, I touch anything, it breaks. So I thought I'm good at breaking stuff. Maybe they can pay me for that. I don't know. That felt good. So then I started reading the book and like finding out what is software testing. I got certified with the foundation level of software uh, yeah, testing, and then started applying like crazy. And the first job that I got was in transition technologies. And I kid you not, I sent my CV to them 8 times. And 7 times they said no, thank you. Okay, actually, 6 times they said no, thank you. 7 times they said no, thank you, but this is what you can do to make your CV look better. And I was like, okay, so there's a chance. So they created a monster. There's a kind of, yeah, but and then 8 time I changed everything that I read in the document that they sent me, and I sent my CV 8 time, and they said no again, and I was like, sometimes that happens to me that I'm very like in the moment, and I ask something like a question without thinking, uh, because if I would start thinking, then I would probably start overthinking it, and I would never do it. So that's maybe also like my curse and like a blessing in the same time. So I asked the question. I wrote back to the recruitment agent, you don't want me, but why not? Please explain, because I want to know why. And then the recruitment agent, I think she printed out the email and like went with the email to the director of the company. And then I got invited to the job interview because they thought, oh, she's a go-getter. She wants to know things. So that's when they called me that I got the job. I was actually going back from the office work, and I was like crossing the street, and I pick up the phone and I started like receive the message, and I started crying, because I felt like, yeah, the rest of my life is starting now. So I worked there for a year. I started asking them, okay, I want to learn writing automation and learning Java, because there's more to functional testing than just clicking the pages. I would like to learn how to write code and automate that. So they said, no, you will only click the apps. And I felt no, so I will not work here anymore, because it didn't align with who I am as a person. Like I want to have growth opportunities. That was also like how I got the next job, because I went on a forum for testing, uh, and I asked a question: how can I pass that certification and learn Java and automation in a month? And then I got like a message, private message, to send my CV to this address because we kind of look for a person that wants to learn that, and we can teach you. And so I felt like, wow, I asked the question again, and I asked it in a perfect time, and like probably was in the perfect time and like perfect moment because that person saw my question, and I felt like, okay, we are looking for a person like you. So that's how I got my second job. Uh, so far, that was like the best manager that I had in my life. He was a mentor to me, and he helped me to learn Java and gave me pointers. He taught me how to critically think about writing code. He was like a super nice person. I really wanted to go back to the Netherlands, so I did. And actually, one of the first things that I did there, I don't know, that's like pretty bizarre thing to do when you enter like a foreign land, but I joined the gym, and it was basic fit. Started sending my CVs to like the hiring agencies, and I got contacted by a recruitment agent that offered me a position of a tester at Basic Fit, and I felt like, oh, this is a sign, because I already joined the gym and I liked the company already. I liked the brand. As an employee, I feel best if I can. Uh, as I like the company and I like their like ethical values, or I think they are cool. So I already felt that about the company. So I felt that, okay, this is like potentially a good fit for me. And then what happened on the job interview was okay, like fast forward like 2 weeks before the jump interview, I went to Chicago, United States for the first time, and I really love the city. And on the job interview, the manager that was talking with me had a mug with like the Chicago logo, and like it was like a touristy mug from that city. And I felt like really happy straight away and like connected with him, and said, "Oh, you have this mug," and I was on the trip, and turns out he was an American, and we clicked like straight away, and like started talking like friends, and I felt like we are like vibing here, so I really have a good feeling that this is the manager that I want to have. So I told that to him that this is amazing. Please hire me. I want to work here. I like you a lot. And like yeah, this is like pretty quick for like a job interview to go into like love confessions, but like that's actually what I did because I felt like so enthusiastic and like this is like a good spot. So yeah, I got hired, which was like super amazing, and I met a lot of great people. That actually was the best job that I ever had in my life. I started going also to security meetups like Hack the Box, Netherlands, and also there was a meetup called Wika. What was like kind of like a sad part of that was I couldn't be a penetration tester in Basic Fit, so I had to leave the company. So that was so. And one of the meetups that I was going through uh, was Accenture was the guest. I really wanted to ask a question, so I wrote it in the chat, but I wrote it in a way. Okay, this is my question. I'm sorry, I'm very tired right now, but this is also my email. So if someone could answer the question on my email, because I have to leave now, I will be super grateful. And that's what happened because the next an email from the director of the department of the like the security department in Accenture Netherlands, and it was like super long email explaining everything that I wanted to know. So I felt like okay, I already worked with Accenture people, like consultants, Basic Fit. I knew the kind people, and like the email from the director already gave me like a hint that as important the work environment is for me, that might be a good environment for me. Then one thing led to another. and she introduced me to employees, and I had few calls with them, like getting to know what is the company about, what are the values. I got hired, but apparently what I told them on the job interview, that I want to be a penetration tester. Turns out that in the Netherlands there was no technical projects that I could learn and not be the penetration tester that I wanted to be. So learned to work with the client. Branch was really focused on selling the services they have. So I started looking around what is possible and found out like Warsaw branch is actually that was the opinion in the Netherlands branch at least. So the Polish branch is one of the three best penetration testing and like red teaming departments in Europe. And then I was invited to a job interview. They really asked me a lot of questions, so I didn't really feel like I was going from the inside. It felt like I was still an outsider, but I do understand that because they wanted to assess what do I know and what could I be mentored to become. So, and then I started working in the Polish branch, so I moved countries again, came back to Poland. From week two, I was on pen testing projects and was already like in deep water uh, learning and like actually like doing penetration testing of web projects. So at first I was shadowing someone, and then I was also testing myself and like writing my findings in the report. I'm super grateful for like, what Accenture taught me. But then I got an offer for a Scottish bank, and I met an amazing manager there. Uh, and I felt like, okay, this is my moment. I can leave because I got like a job offer from the bank, and the manager was like a super good mentor. I felt like this is a good place to continue learning. They also had like an opportunity to not only do web penetration testing as I was doing in Accenture, but also learn mainframe testing. Okay, so let me finish my thought. In Paris, I received an award, and then after I received the award at the gala, I was approached by employee of Yogosha. She gave me her card. She asked me, "Oh, maybe do you want to join our bug bounty program?" And I checked my contract, and turns out, yeah, I couldn't do bug bounty at Accenture. So I wrote back to her like, "Yeah, sorry, I cannot do it, but maybe you want to offer me a job." In the same time that I was uh, in the recruitment process for the bank. And Yogosha offered me a job of hacker success manager. So that was like a mind-blowing offer, because not only I could manage the hacker community for them, which felt like super exciting, and I felt like I'm really good with people. My LinkedIn profile already like pulls a lot of cybersecurity oriented, like I don't know, hacker people into my profile, and they created the jobs especially for me, like the title and everything that was especially crafted for me. So it felt like if I will not take the job from Yogosha, I will regret it for the rest of my life. That was my impression there. Here I am now, and I think I reached the end of the slide, and also what is on the slide as well, like the questions. That was the questions that I asked myself when I was first in the Netherlands, and that's why I'm here, because I started figuring out who I am as a person and what am I good at. So I guess that's like a hint. What I believe, like everything happens for a reason, and if one door closes, a lot of other doors open. I what I get from being here is like I can give back to the community, and I motivate myself by learning and like by giving. So I'm a giver. I don't know. So this is who I am as a person. That's why I'm here, and how to become a penetration tester. So uh, you have to study. I'm sorry. So let's get cracking. As I mentioned before, you have to study, right? And to study, uh, what do you need to study? You need to have a functioning brain. How to have a well functioning brain? I think you have to eat well and exercise. I'm a cyclist, so this is something that helps me clear my mind and also keeps my body healthy. What my advice would be, just find a sport that brings you joy and you like doing, so you wouldn't feel like this is a chore. And also, like the Daily Stoic is the book that I started reading during the OCP preparation, but I think it's a good book to read in, I don't know, any age, I don't know, whatever your age is at the moment. Read this book because it's super helpful. So if you just remain calm, the things will start to line up for you, and you will see, the path before you. Because when you're stressed, you cannot see clearly, and then your brain, you can see read about like neuroscience, but when you are stressed, your brain works differently, and you cannot really learn and remember things that you learn because other parts of your brain function now, and they are responsible for fight and flight response, and adrenaline floods your body, I don't know, a lot of cortisol, and you cannot really learn there. So if you remain calm, and is it like you preparing for the exam, or you're studying to become a penetration tester, or like change your occupation to, it doesn't have to be penetration tester, maybe a programmer or whatever. If you are calm, then frontal part of your brain works, and this part of the brain is responsible for remembering and to learning and for like creative work, and that's why you have to remain calm and go outside and spend time in nature, and also uh, mentally, because like the hacker mindset, like on the text on the site, the interest in solving problems. I think that's a very hacker mindset, but also the growth mindset, because you have to learn every day, and there's like the flood of information is overpowering, and you will get so uh, overwhelmed very quickly if you will not remain calm and like have this uh, growth mindset of actually liking to learn, doing that because it brings you joy, and like it's motivating you to be better. So that's what I wanted to say here. So when you start whatever change you want to do in your life, you have to spend a lot of time learning, and you might disappear a bit from the lives of your friends or maybe your family. You have to check with them if they're okay with that, and if they will support you on your new path. The workspace is very important, so as the like silence, good light, can you focus, a good chair, and remain maybe being an optimist, but not in like a toxic way that you cannot think bad thoughts, like you cannot have bad emotions. Good emotions and bad emotions are a part of who you are as a person, and all of is welcome. And usually the bad emotions are like a warning sign of that something is wrong in your life. For example, when you feel angry or sad, that maybe someone is crossing your boundaries, or someone is not respecting you, or something is off. So there is like this, I think it's like pretty good explanation. So when you feel depressed, uh, I read like you just need deep rest. That's your body telling you that you need to rest a lot, you know? So that's how I understand that. So that's why I left the optimist picture here, because I think having like a good mindset, optimistic one, will help you uh, go head on into whatever life throws at you. And believe me, I've been through a lot of heavy things, and I'm still here, I'm still smiling. And you just have to look for like the good parts, because sometimes even like the super bad experience, even that's maybe a good thing. What is happening is life throws at you experiences because you have to grow, and you have to be prepared for the things that comes after, and you cannot go through life being weak and like unprepared, you know. So that's why life gives you lessons. And my lessons from that experience was I'm super strong. I can do whatever I set my mind onto, and I can achieve whatever I desire because I know I'm capable of that, you know, because I don't know how to explain this, but if you know yourself well enough, you just feel those things, right? Why I was grateful for that, I had an opportunity to actually change my life for the better through that experience. And uh, going through that in like a positive mindset also, I think, helped me a lot to heal faster because I was like going into my treatments with like this uh, sun-like force energy of I'm going to be okay, and this is just temporary. This is not forever. This is just happening now and not forever. And I will fight through this, and I will not give up. Actually, that's when the never give up hashtag was born in my head. So technically, yay. Also relatable to preparing for the exam, but also to becoming a penetration tester because you have to learn and you have to do the labs and you have to do it on a laptop that is not a potato, you know. So uh, just research what is minimum requirements for example, hack the box. Another one, what you will need, so networking knowledge and skills, cybersecurity knowledge. So like I think the basics is the security class. That's where you should start at as a beginner, like in my opinion at least. Uh, and what you will need, so be teamwork and project related skills. It would be super helpful if you had some IT jobs before, so you will know how the project work looks like, and you will gain some, I don't know, IT experience. Now, like the specific skills for penetration, so reporting, I already mentioned that, but it's really important for the business to be able to explain very complex technical things into a business language for the people that are technical. So for the people that have the money, this is really important in the reporting. So this is the skill I wanted to highlight here. And so obviously the hands-on hacking skills. And so I think you have to have some skills there. But if you're just starting up, please don't think that you have to know everything. You still can Google and like research things when you are there, or ask your colleagues and ask for help. So uh, you're still learning. So I think it's obvious that you don't know everything when you just start your first job, but you have to have like a solid basics of knowledge there, or at least understanding on how to look for those and where to find like some walkthrough, some like tips and tricks on how to do things. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say here, and being able to connect a few attacks into a more complex one. Sometimes you can find vulnerabilities in just being, oh, what will happen if I will click on this button, or write this exploit into this command field. So yeah, you just have to think a bit maybe outside of the box as an attacker, sometimes as a user, and being ethical, because yeah, being a penetration tester, it means that you are the ethical hacker. So what being ethical means is staying with your beliefs and never compromising them for giving up and by giving up to greed. So not selling your ethical values for money. I think this is all on this slide. Another one is still something from the ICP, but I think it's important to mention before you start what are the things that I pointed out for the ICP, what you have to have. But also I think those are like worth mentioning. That's something nice to have, and you can learn on the job as well. So, but it will definitely help you to be a better penetration tester. Uh, and where I actually learned was I went through some paid courses, uh, for example, on IT Pro TV, but the Professor Master channel was the courses of CompTIA that I liked the most because he really explains it well. They're like pretty short, not overpowered with knowledge, like with difficult words like terminology, and it's really easy to take notes from those courses, and also they are for free. And what I believe, the knowledge should be for free, maybe not all knowledge, but like at least the ones that will help you to start and get like the first job. So that's what I'm hinting. I think you can research everything on your own and use documentation, use YouTube, whatever resources that they are. And where you begin being a penetration tester, I think that 80% of the time you will start with web penetration testing. So that's why a good resource is Portswinger Web Security Academy. That's what I learned a lot about penetration testing, and it's amazing resource. It's for free. It's well explained. There are like good exercises. But yeah, it's like amazing resource. It's again free. You just have to create an account. And what is not free is the Pro license for Burp Suite. But most of the exercises you can do with the community edition. So just create an account and start learning. My favorite YouTube channels are here, so that's like free knowledge for you as well. The TCM Security Academy, the Cyber Mentor, they so already that's a TCM Security Academy, like on their page. If you go and see their courses, they are not very expensive and they are really well explained and well made. But on their YouTube page as well, they share free content from the courses, or even like the content they created especially for the YouTube channel. So I encourage you to check it out as well. My favorite is like hands down, my favorite YouTube channel is Hackersploit. It gives me the Mr. Robot feel here a lot because there's like a lot of sections on, I don't know, whatever you might need. So penetration testing, how to start, red teaming. You just have to go to the channel and see it for yourself. But it's really amazing, well explained. I really like the style of uh, the person that is presenting the videos. He's very calm. He explains it well. I think I said that already. But and he doesn't use like cheap cheap tricks. So I really respect that he's just sharing the knowledge, not making you feel like you are a stupid person in a way, because it's not condescending. It's not like he's not trying to trick you into click on his videos. I wanted to say a few words. Maybe we'll go a bit faster about those slides about OECP, but I think it's an important certification to mention. In my opinion, it's a bit overpriced and the course isn't that great, but like the labs are like really good, and the labs itself, and maybe the uh, exercises, but not all, because some of them didn't work for me at all. We are all learning here. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder. It's okay, and just move along with your life and with like the next exercise. They made some changes in the course and refreshed it, but I don't feel like even like the refreshed version is 10 out of 10 still. Uh, but I think it's good that they are working on that, so they are listening to the community voices uh, and why you are doing that to yourself. So I was asking that question a lot during uh, learning to become a penetration tester, becoming a penetration and going on my first projects, starting to learn on the ICP course, and because I felt like there's like a lot of imposter syndrome. I felt like I'm a bad tester. That's a lot of actually I have those questions on LinkedIn too. Why I cannot find any vulnerabilities yet? what is am I just a bad tester? So you just have to learn and like give yourself grace, ask questions, look for help from others, and you. I think a good idea to answer that question would be to go into that field with like a clear dream or understanding why you want to do that. And so I'm penetration tester. I wanted to be that, uh, do that because I feel I belong here and I feel I'm good at it. I feel this is exciting, and so even being me being here in this field, being a tester, is like a windmill of motivation, like kind of for me, because I love to learn, and if I have like a lot of growth in front of me, then I feel like this is where I belong, this is where I want to stay. So, how to answer this question would be everyone should think for themselves, I think, what is their answer, but I feel you have to have a good reason to step into that field because it's not easy and you will have a lot of doubts. I don't have the answer for you, I just gave you mine, but yeah. Another exams that I wanted to mention is practical network penetration tester from TCM Security. I don't think a lot of recruitment agents notice this certification yet, but in United States it starts to a bit change. So I have a lot of hope because uh, I feel this is a better exam than OCP. I'm sorry, maybe that's not a popular opinion, and I feel it's better prepared. The exams is not so stressful. It's you feel like you have the support there. I didn't pass it yet. But I just have enough knowledge about this certification to have this opinion already that you have. For example, also the thing that I really like about this certification is that they have uh, a stage when you have to present your report to the business, to the people. I think it's super important to know how to explain those things, like how to explain the vulnerabilities in like non-technical way to the business people. That's why I think it's like an amazing idea that they have it there. Like the price is more uh, achievable for like a more mortal, I know, because I feel OCP is overpriced, and they have a lot of learning material, and I even was going to that course to prepare, like even during my OCP, because the course lacked from the offensive security side, but this course explained those things, and yeah, I'm super grateful. Hack the Box certified penetration testing specialist. I read a lot of opinions about this one that it's a bit more difficult than the OCP exam, and but you have a lot of resource to prepare. There are like paths on Hack the Box preparing you for this one, and you can also have like pass it as an achievement for yourself because it's like 200 people in the world only have this one. So I think it's like a pretty sweet achievement to have in your CV. Why ICP? I already said that yeah, it's pricey and not work in the park, but recruitments recruitment agents want it, managers want it, companies want it, clients want it. So I think it's like a uh, this certification can open definitely a lot of doors. Go in really well prepared, and I think you can pass even if not at the first time because I don't know, life happens. But on the second time or maybe third, it doesn't really actually matter which time did you pass. It's not really mentioned on the certification. So if you don't pass in the first time, so it's okay. You're learning, and it's not an easy certification. It's easy and it's not easy at the same time. So yeah, it depends on how you see things and how you look at it, how well you prepared. but yeah, I think it's worth mentioning. And how to prepare again, like can use this. Might be like a bit old slide, so, but those are like the resources that are on the bottom. I also shared this presentation on my LinkedIn, so if someone just want to find like the pinned post on my LinkedIn page and click on the links in the source, just go ahead and do that. You can download the presentation as well. So yeah, just wanted to mention that this is like the resource that you can use, and you don't really. And my idea of preparing for SCP after I just went through the course, and I felt like, yeah, this is like super difficult, and like yeah, I felt like this dog in the burning room, like this is fine. So what I would advise is to just go through those and like prepare, be really well prepared from Active Directory, read what they will teach you in the course, learn those before. Don't go into the OCP course with an idea that they will teach you things. So they will, but it might be difficult if you go like a green person, like with no knowledge, and learn from failure. That's really like that's what life is actually. So just don't kick yourself if you fail. Just take notes and like do better next time. Try harder. Actually, they're like try harder from offensive security might be taken like in the, like a bit toxic place sometimes because you will get a lot of time and hours into the boxes and like learning, but you have to remember to go outside and like don't learn all the time every day, because you will burn out and try harder, sure, but then know where to take a break, know where to rest, and just know where it's like not enough and you might break, and just like kind of just look how your body reacts and how you feel, and you will be okay. Don't learn like for a year from 8 in the morning till 10 p.m. Just go outside and meet friends, go to the cinema. You don't have to spend the whole year in front of your screen. This is life, and you cannot burn yourself out. So be gentle with yourself. Yeah, that's my advice here. That's what I wanted to say. This slide is about going into Discord, Twitch, LinkedIn, Slack, whatever the platform is, but just go out there, meet people that are like-minded, and like create like a learning group, uh, share ideas, just network, because that will help you. You cannot do it on your own. You can try. I did try, but it was not easy. You need friends, you need people that will help you and guide you. So just that's what I wanted to say here, to just not try to do everything yourself. And the job interview here, what they mostly ask about is Office Top 10, but also like I had questions like what is a router, a question that I try to maybe assess what is your level of IT knowledge in a way. I already mentioned that. Tell me about yourself. There's a question when you praise yourself and say to them that you are amazing and you're like you can do anything. So you have to like sell yourself with that question, with answering it. There might be some specific project type questions. Like yeah, like I mentioned before, like business related vulnerabilities. Because I was on an interview that really wanted someone for those kinds of projects. Also, I had a lot of questions on like what would you do if you were in the situation, like kind of trying to assess how will you troubleshoot a situation, or uh, how well you manage stress and like difficult situations, and like maybe difficult how would you talk with a difficult client. So yeah, so be prepared to just because they are just trying to find out if they can hire you and if they can work with you. So uh, yeah, the question, what is a router question is wild. Yeah, I agree. Uh, and from your side, you are interviewing them as well as they interviewing you. So just be sure that you prepare questions. Yeah, take notes and and yeah, I think the most important thing on this slide is don't take it personally if you don't get the job. They didn't want it you probably wouldn't want to work there as well. So it's all good. Let's go in our separate ways. And then if you will not take the job that already feels like it will be not a good fit, the next one probably is. So I think that's what you should do. What else is important? Yeah, I think in this field, imposter syndrome is like very common. But give yourself some grace, just like you're learning. Everyone is learning, and no one really knows everything about all the things. So yeah, so it's okay. You will learn it next time, or you will succeed next time. It's okay. All, there are all some fields you cannot make mistakes because like people's lives are on the line. You are ported there. Let's move along. Do not compare yourself with others because your path is unique. I think it's pretty important because everyone has like a different family, different character traits. One person is good at baseball, and other person is really talented at singing, for example. So everyone has a unique talent, and so you shouldn't compare yourself because it's like comparing a cucumber with an apple. So it doesn't compute in a way. So you are unique, you're special. So uh, just show your unique ways to the world, and I think your people will find you and will join you and like surround you, and like yeah, it will be okay. It's like I wanted to say that I already think I said that, but a big ego industry. Don't take it personally as well. Everyone is different, so just be aware that this is there. Just be nice to each other and be kind because I think yeah, it's important as well. And you never know what the other person is going through. Maybe that person has like I don't know some tough events in their life, so in like the personal that they don't talk about. So I think being kind because it's already like a very difficult field to be in. But if you are just like being yeah not a supportive person, like not helpful and not nice, then it makes everything like the work so much more difficult. So I think being kind is important and be the senior that you need when you were a junior. That's why I'm here because I wanted to be the senior that I needed when I was a junior, and there was no one to show me the path. But now I have like few friends that are really supportive and like helpful, and I do know that there are like people that could be really and actually are really good mentors to me. Ask questions. It's better not to know. Uh, uh, and ask and to not know and destroy something for the client and on the project because then yeah you a lot of people has to get involved to repair that, and if you would just ask before you did something that destroyed, like maybe you dropped the database, so probably you don't need coffee anymore that day, but if you would ask someone if you're not sure if you can do those things, then probably that wouldn't happen. So asking questions, I think it's very welcome in this industry, and there are no stupid questions to ask. Everyone is learning. Everyone has to start somewhere. So yeah, I think it's important. Continuous learning. Yeah, to stay in touch with like the latest industry news. Learn about the vulnerabilities and like the study-worthy topics. Do good for others. It will come back in unexpected ways. Actually, that's what I am experiencing as well now. If I already showed through like the last 2 years and like even more on the things that I share on LinkedIn that I'm a kind person, I'm a good person, so uh, I'm likable and I connect well with people. So people like connect as well with me. and they are trying to help me. Even I had like a lot of people reach out to me and like trying to help me with like how to set up the Twitch stream and like yeah, how to do things. So uh, if you're just it's like you have to pretend to be a good person. Just try to be your best self, and like the people that will resonate around you are just your people, your family. So yeah, I think that's worth mentioning. And what else is important? Stay active. Yeah, this slide was actually about building your personal brand. I think it's like a bit ironic that this is actually happening on a daily basis. Like it's really, I don't know, you have to be an influencer to get a job in a way. So I think it's like very interesting direction that the LinkedIn community is leaning towards. In school, they tell you to be like everyone else. Yeah, I don't think you want to be like everyone else, because then if you stand out, then the more people, the more businesses will notice you, and like you don't have to be necessarily a superhero and like wear a red cape there, but building your own personal brand, just being yourself and like showing who you are. I think that could be like your business card, like and like a signature of who you are. Like you're a cool person. Like what are your talents? What are your gifts? And so I think it's worth maybe considering to maybe yeah, highlight yourself on like the group of people that look exactly like you, but you do something different. You have, for example, you are into hardware hacking and you're good at it, and so this is something that helps you stand out from the crowd. And yeah, I have this is the end actually. So if you have any questions, then now is the time to ask those. And now I just wanted to say that maybe that's like the moment of sharing the motivational thing of if you want something you never had, you have to do something you've never done. So I think starting in the new fields like being a penetration tester, uh, it's like a very difficult field to go into, but you just have to be brave and like go for it and yeah, do something else because maybe the things that you are doing so far will not work. But yeah, that's what my point of view. What is your next certification? You have something in mind? So I still really want to pass OCP because it's like that I didn't pass, although it was just my computer, like my laptop, it wasn't actually my lack of knowledge, but it did play with my head a bit there. So I took it a bit personally, to be honest. But I really want to pass this certification just to, at first, I wanted to pass it just to prove to myself and like to others, like, yeah, like I'm a female in a male-dominated industry. That I wanted to prove to myself that I actually know how to do those things. But I realized in time that I don't really need a paper to tell me that I know how to do things. I just know how they work, and I know where to research those, how to look for knowledge. So I think that's important as well. But just having this paper in my hand would give me a bit of closure, because I spent the last year really intensively studying for that exam. So I just wanted to have the paper in my hand and have the relief. And yeah, that's why that's why. Oh, have you used try hack me a lot? Actually, yes, because that's where when I was still in basic fit, that's where I started learning to not only go through the courses from Koptia, but also I thought that it's really important for a penetration tester to have hands-on skills. So that's where I thought, yeah, that's a good platform for a beginner to get hands-on skills. So yeah, in the month actually I was in the top 1% because I was there every day finishing like I don't know 10 boxes daily, and I really like the gamification of Try Hack Me. I think it's an amazing platform. But like on the other side of the coin is that uh, Hack the Box teaches you the whole pen testing path and from A to Z in a way. So you have to go through all of the pen testing parts, you know, the reconnaissance and then this and this and this. But when you go through like the Try Hack Me boxes, they teach you like pieces of knowledge. So, for example, you will know everything there is to know about Metasploit and how to perform some kind of attack, or you will know everything about SQL injection, but then you will not know how to get into how to connect into like a bigger picture. So that's what I noticed that with only doing like the CompTIA courses in TryHackMe's and starting my first per testing job, I felt like, oh boy, I have a lot of holes in my knowledge. So uh, yeah, maybe that's like also worth mentioning that TryHackMe is amazing. They have paths, but what is important is to also use other platforms like I don't know, Hack the Box or Proving Grounds, yeah, whatever there is there on the market. There's a lot of resources available. So just don't close yourself only to the one platform. I kind of did because I really liked the gamification and how it looked like, and I liked climbing and like becoming the god level. How it was designed to trigger the the need to study and like go back next day, kind of like Duolingo is doing. I think they have like the similar scheme. I think that answers the question. If there are any more questions, so thank you. And I have also like a scene for that. Thank you, everyone, and for joining me here, for being here. It was my first time streaming on Twitch. I really wanted to do it for like a long time, but I felt I wasn't ready. But then, yeah, I'm here, and I decided that yeah, I will go live. And the first step was like super difficult, and the first 10 minutes actually was super difficult for me as well. But I did that, and now I think it will be a much smoother. I plan to share my learning paths and like share knowledge and like how to learn web security, how to like where are the sources, how to exploit some of that, where to go, what to use. Just yeah, I will just learn and do what I do best. So learning, and then I will do it on screen. Sometimes without preparation because yeah, I think that would be fun for you guys as well. My goal is to share the knowledge. I hope it'll be done in like an entertaining way. I really like sharing knowledge and like teaching things. So this is, I think, a perfect platform for that as well. What I have envisioned for this stream is becoming a wholesome place where you can come and ask questions, and I will be like a big sister that will answer them, and I will be like a Bob Ross on cyber here. So I will give you like a pep talk and tell you that everything will be okay, not in like a toxic positivity way, but like in a way that fire and like motivate and not because I think this field is like already super hard. So I don't want to add to the hardship, but I just want to teach you things and share my knowledge in like a very wholesome way because I think personally I'm a nice person. So this way would like kind of like highlight who I am, and there's no other way I could do it. So thank you everyone for joining me, and like I really am super grateful for uh, gaining a lot of followers because I know when I was starting the stream I had like 73 people following me already, and if gather all of you in a room, that's a lot of people. There will be a crowded situation here. So thank you for being here. You didn't have to, and you joined. So it means a lot to me that you were here with me on taking the first step into unknown. And yeah, and that's it. Thank you, folks. Bye.